Ask yourself this. Are you the person that you want to be? If not, what are you doing to become that person? Hey everyone, Party of One podcast. If you're new here, hey. If you're not, welcome back. What are you filling yourself up with every day? I mean, every aspect of life. You don't have to completely make a list and think about everything, but the 3 things that you fill yourself up with every day, what are they? It could be music, it could be food, it could be television, it could be books, it could be anything, people, environments. What are those 3 things for you? I realized the other day that, and I realize it every day, like I already knew about it, but it's kind of like for me, if you don't know and you haven't followed me on TikTok and you're new here on YouTube, I'm very open about my spiritual journey. I'm very open about my faith, and I'm very open about just being intentional in growing with yourself and being kinder and just being 1% better every day. And I realized as I was driving home the other day is that what goes in is what comes out. We hear it in all avenues of life, whatever situation or environment that we have heard that sentence in, it's applicable to everything that we do in life. For example, if you're consistently feeding yourselves angry songs, like angry music, I mean, talking about some crazy stuff that you know you'd never do, but it just sounds hard. You're at the gym, that's what gets you hype. You know, little stuff like that plays into your psyche. And it's fine to do it every once in a while if that's what, helps you get through whatever you need to get through. But understand that over a long period of time, that can really be detrimental to the kind of person that you want to become if that kind of person is better. A better version of yourself for yourself, or a better version of yourself to help society. Whatever your goal is, think about all the things you're feeding yourselves with, and is it being beneficial or is it being detrimental to who you want to become? On the latter half of that, if you're feeding yourselves with positive podcasts or reading self-improvement books on how to become a better version of yourself in your field of work, or just being a better human, whatever the case is, you will reap what you sow. So if you are consistently feeding yourself with positivity, you're being intentional about the kind of music you're listening to, intentional about the kind of activities and people that you allow in your day, you will be able to reap the benefit of that. But if you consistently say, I am not, I can't, I could never, your brain doesn't know the difference between you joking and not. So whatever you're speaking over your life, whatever you're speaking about yourself or others or your situation, it is going to come true. And the more you say it, the more it comes to fruition. You may be actively working on getting better. Say, for example, you say, I can't lose the weight. I just can't. Like, this is how I've always been. I eat a bunch of things. Like my job is revolved around food testing. I don't know. But if you continue to limit yourself by just speaking the words out of your mouth, you'll never see yourself how you want to see yourself. However, if you acknowledge what are the areas that are blocking me from becoming the best version of myself, then you can start to figure out, how can I incorporate little things? Literally one thing. How can I incorporate one new thing in my day, in my week, to then get me to the person that I want to become? I think there's this demented idea behind us having to have all the answers right now, us having to have a correct answer on something at all times. And the thing is, you just don't know. You just don't know, or you only know what you know. I say that to say the first step is self-awareness. If you're not self-aware about your situation, you can never get where you want to be. But you can. You know what bothers you. You know what doesn't make you feel good. You know what it is that you keep telling yourself you're okay with, but truly you're not. You just don't know how to get there, and that's okay. In our generation now, it's so evident that people are nervous, or they just don't know how to ask for help, or they have been put in environments where you want to ask for help, but it's like, oh, I should already know this. And that is no fault to your own. Unfortunately, that's the environment that you were brought up in, or unfortunately, that's the environment that you've just consistently seen yourself around. But the great news about it is that you can change your environment, even if it's just for an hour a day. Say, for example, you don't have the best home life, or you wish you had a better one, but it's not bad. You're just not getting or feeling like you're being served in all areas to help you elevate. You have to be responsible for your happiness. That was the hardest pill I had to swallow growing up, especially in high school. I depended a lot on others to make me happy, about other situations to make me happy. And the thing is that we're just going to keep going through life. We're only in our seasons for just a little bit. It's only a moment. When you look back at everything that you've been through, it's literally a blur. You remember a couple key things, but for the most part, everyone continues to live their lives, which means you have to be responsible for how you show up for yourself every day and how you show up for others. You know, because we're here to help serve others as well, but we can't serve others in the best capacity possible if we don't do that for ourselves first. So it takes the self-awareness to know you need to work on yourself. And then once you get to that space, you're able to understand why you couldn't be in the same environment, understand why you couldn't hang around those same people, because you have goals, you have dreams, you have visions. And in order to get there, you have to be honest with yourself. If I'm not the person I want to be, what am I not doing to see that version come true? So a couple of things that have helped me out. I'm not going to just ask questions and not provide things that haven't helped me out, that I believe could help you. I wouldn't even say I sat with myself. Sometimes in the midst of acting maybe bratty when I was in college, or in the midst of going back and forth with my parents, I don't have to always be right. I don't really even have to be right ever. If I know where I'm coming from and that I'm coming from a place with intentionality, a place of love, and a place of understanding, but the other person can't see that, you have done your part. You don't let anyone get you out of character, ever. It's so easy to be negative. It's so easy to be mean, but challenge yourself to be kind. Challenge yourself that if you don't know what to say, not saying anything. Sometimes that puts things in perspectives for others a lot more than if you would have said something. So just think about the person I want to become. Would they act the way I'm about to react? And if the answer is no, don't do it. It's going to take you stepping outside of your pride. I'll be the first one to tell you, pride had me in a chokehold, and it doesn't serve you. It makes you bitter. It drains your energy. And when I was just open to taking the blame, whether it was my fault or not, it just made me realize I'm so much more powerful because I know who's right and who's wrong in the situation, but I don't have to prove that or make it this big production that I was right and the other person was wrong. I just know the kind of person that I want to show up as. And if that means letting them walk away feeling like they won a conversation, let that be what it is. You come out on top every time you keep your peace intact. Because there's going to be a lot of people that try to stir you up. There's going to be a lot of environments and circumstances that test you in becoming that version of yourself you're trying to become. And until you learn the lesson, it's going to keep happening, just in different formats. I had to keep going through a certain circumstance so many times. I was like, why is this happening? Why does this keep showing up? Why do I attract these kind of people? Then I realized I'm doing it to myself. It's because I don't see myself around the kind of people I want to attract. It's because I don't see myself in my field of work that I want to be in. And then it was almost like a light bulb. And by light bulb, I don't mean I went to sleep and then the next day I woke up and I was just the person I wanted to be. It meant I went to go buy one book to help me, even in a percentage format, become the kind of person I want to become. You know, so I talk so passionately, I think, about this topic specifically because it takes a lot to get to the person you want to become. But if you want it bad enough, you'll do anything within reason. But truly ask yourself if you are the person that you want to be. And if not, what are you doing to get there? Other than that, I'm going to leave you guys with that question because you have to find that within yourselves. What is it? Who is taking you away from the person you want to be? What is taking you away from the person you want to be? Sometimes you're your own worst enemy. That was my case. It was me versus me. I didn't care if people had something to say, thought what I was doing was lame. I don't care. Because the thing is, people and environments, seasons, they're all momentary in our life. We are only a part of someone's world, or we're only a part of a cause, a circumstance, a moment in our life, for literally a moment of our life. So I think that's what always has helped me get through if someone had tried it. The thing is, I come from a tough skin, you got to have tough skin in my family. So we all joke around. We'll go super hard at each other. And I think because I was fortunate enough to have that kind of like joking type of family style, when people were genuinely trying to be rude or kind of come at me, it didn't faze me because I always had something to say on a comeback. But then as you get older, you realize that's a lot of petty stuff. And it comes with age and it does come with maturity. But eventually you start to realize I care a little bit more about my peace than being right. Some circumstances and situations and people are worth fighting for, but you have to just figure out what and who that is for you. So with that being said, I hope I've given you guys a lot to think about, a little bit into my life and kind of how I deal with certain things like that. I know it's harder to get away from a surface level of just a general understanding or topic. So if you guys do have specific topics that you would like to learn more about, hear my insight in, or just want to talk about, let me know. You know, this is my first time doing longer forms of content for Party of One. So I want to be able to serve you guys in the best way I know how and genuinely help you, like genuinely put you on the path to where you're meant to be through the grace of God. So with that being said, I appreciate everyone tuning in. Catch you guys on Monday for the 3rd episode of Party of One podcast. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications to know when the next podcast drops. And be sure to follow me on TikTok, Pinterest, Instagram, and here. All right, bye.